definitely. Yeah, let's hit it live. Does an advert first anyway, doesn't it? You are live. Yeah, I was buzzing off that suitcase when I saw it, mate. I literally could not stop laughing. Just imagining how smart they're gonna get. We are live. What's happening, Crypto Farm and FutureVerse friends? Welcome back to the mega stream. Not much news this week, but we are gonna mint a goblin. We're gonna have a cheeky little look at Wilder World Mntge and the Walker Weekly, and we're gonna speculate on the Seeker missions that are upcoming, because I personally think this is gonna blow the FutureVerse right open. I think the people that have been looking for an actual game are about to get the 2D game and the initial window to the FutureVerse. A lot more lore, a lot more actual missions, information on the parts that you seekers are holding and the traits that other assets might be holding, materials for crafting, the type of rewards. Are going to do a whole lot of speculation. But to begin with, I want to shout out Wilder World now. Let me just full screen this a minute, because anyone who was watching when we went through this and we saw these blocked out buildings where they're all just the same colour, it was last week, was like, I wonder what they're going to look like once the shaders have been added. Well, they've done a post about the procedural buildings. So these buildings have been added procedurally. And they've done a post. You can see the aesthetic on few buildings in these videos they're sharing. But if we look at these buildings here where it's split, you can see like lines for windows and lines of details, but then inside it's all smooth. And then there's ones on the right that are all blocked out and square. And it just makes you wonder what the difference is going to be once the shaders are on. Well, they dropped a massive little insight look at these bad boys. There it is. There it is. So you can see the sharp edge now, and you've got the window edge with the offices, and then the golden bronzy look in the middle. That looks absolutely fantastic. Prime metaverse real estate, baby. You know this. You know this. That is prime metaverse real estate. Wyoming Wilder World. It looks absolutely fantastic. Hats off to the team. And then there's the square one. The more square, bulky one again. A little bit very cyberpunk, very out there into sci-fi, massive mega cities. It literally just looks fantastic. So even the beach, they did one of the beach blocked out to not blocked out with a lot more detail, and literally the waves crashing up. Can't wait to actually just start mooching about in these worlds, because every single one of them looks fantastic in its own little way. They're all unique, yet they all share a sense of theme, being in the open metaverse, and we can all feel that it's kind of this whole big cobweb being spun together. But they have all got their own little unique qualities, and hats off to Wilder World, because I don't actually own an asset yet. We need to pick one up very, very soon, because it's can't speak highly of enough. I mean, 132,000 followers now. They're smashing it, bringing in the attention. No doubt when the game drops, that'll take off as well. It's going to bring more eyes towards the grander scheme of the FutureVerse and the other games. And Mntge, another one I don't own, but I want to shout out, because check this, man. The factory press is live, baby. So, my days. When I saw this, I wanted a piece. I want a piece of adapting. Now, they're doing digital as well, as far as I'm aware, so you can buy, I mean, you're not exactly going to buy a denim jacket with mushrooms growing off it. But you'd have the original before you spin it up. So, in spin it up, and basically we're talking about owning a base garment and some ink. And you're now able to combine the assets and create something new. This little skit round here, it looks great. Not sure if they get the card, and if there's any use cases behind that. But we can fully expect some of these clothing, especially the funky ones that are changing colour like that, to have function and meaning in the world. We know that some of the drug receipts clothes, the world's going to change a little bit when you put them on. And it's going to Some will be a little trippy, like that obviously was. That's like, it's not hiding anything, that is it. It's extremely trippy. So imagine if he was walking through any world in FutureVerse with that top on. You might be seeing a few funky things. Who knows? It's fantastic to speculate. It's a fantastic project. You got any Mntge clothes or even drug receipts, Chris? Yeah, I want some fidgetals in my life, baby. Shout out to Jeddy's Open Metaverse. He's dropped one there. It looks like he might have actually done that. So that could be one of Jeddy's. Get on Twitter. Reply. Show us yours. If you've got some, get on Twitter and tag everyone in it. CryptoPunk, love for crypto. Look at them in the ghillie suits. You gotta love a good ghillie suit. Jacket and t-shirt, pressed complete, seamless. So they're bringing themes, aren't there? Flowers, mushrooms, trippy mushrooms. Just another little way to spice up the project. I did see a video of a fluff wearing one. IRL, baby. Mntge market, getting out to the people. Great bit of outreach. Love to see that. Don't matter where you're doing it. Outreach is outreach. Pressing live, smashing it. This is clearly their main monthly feature. Everyone's buzzing off that trippy one. Here we go. Different avatars with the different clothes on. And swaps to a jacket. Fluff in a jacket. Bear in a jacket. I don't think it's going to matter what piece of clothing you've got from Mntge. It's going to go on every single one of your avatars. So it's, yeah, it's definitely something to be looking at. And as I say, shout out to Matthew. Yo. Oh, yeah, on the war call. We're getting to that in a minute. I'm just about to mint a Goblin first. And then we're getting straight to the Walker Weekly. Mntge, shout out. Great little project. Get your eyes on it. Links in the description. And as just said, Gods and Goblins. We've got a bit of junk from having the one amulet. So, why not? Why not? Only make sure you're on the right ones. Yeah, we were doing that before. Ooh. Someone lost an ape. Dex. It's called pretty popular in the community. Sent it to a phishing address by accident. I think he might have actually been fished by the poison address as well. You know, like people was asking him what had happened and how it went down. And I think the most hidden unknown one at the moment is the poison address. Yes, Matt. What's happening? Matt from Discord. Matt T. Matt T name in Discord. View the Goblin, baby. View the Goblin. Appreciate watching, Matt. Taking part. Come in the Discord if you want to chat. Obviously, when I'm done with this news run through and that, we'll be chin-wagging about the sea commissions. So I just got that bad boy. He's manning the gate. He's Goblin Trump. Do you know if he was orange? But easy as that. I mean, it takes a while sometimes, though, doesn't it? When I think if it starts taking a while. Oh, hello. Just with me streaming and everything, I thought that was it's probably gonna take 2 hours to do the last 2%. But we'll just bounce to Walker World if you don't load up rapid. But yeah, still waiting for it. Oh, shut up, bruh. That's loud things in my ear. That. He's got some big square shoulders there, the lad. So there's something similar to this is coming with the Seekers, and we'll get to it. So if I wanted to come on this and actually show this 3D off in a way, I just didn't want it to take ages to load up, but I was going to mention it, but we can see it here now anyway. So this is the 3D viewer. When we read NFT Bro's notes in a sec, link in the description if you want to go through the whole thing on your own, or if you watch the Seeker AMA, you're okay anyway. If you watch the birthday version, you'll know everything that's in the notes. But we're going to speculate on the Seeker dashboard, and it's going to be a 3D space like this, but 2D reward system. I'm going to compare it to Star Trek Online, as I did in a stream a few weeks ago. Pretty happy with him. Pretty happy with them all that we get, to be honest. It's quality. It's a seamless process. It's bam and you're done. Bish, bash, bosh. Absolutely lovely. Yeah, and anyone who's coming into the space after an asset, and as long as you don't have to buy the game, you're just purchasing an asset to mooch about in the game. That's legit. I think there should be some sort of free-to-play version where you're just given an avatar for people to run around, but then to progress past a certain level, you need to go and buy a goblin. That'd be perfectly understandable. Question: how many people did pull in if you literally have to buy a goblin for $20? If they don't give a fiat ramp, that's what the masses do. They're going to need to. We don't mind flipping the crypto in it, do we? Like, but the masses are going to want a fiat on ramp at first, 100%. So, to the Walker Weekly, they're wishing our family and partners and the Web3 community very happy Easter. Bear in mind, I just want to shout, if you're playing the Easter egg challenge bingo thing and you're winning, congrats. Well done to you. If you don't know what I'm talking about, head to Fluff World Twitter. I think it's probably nearly over by now, isn't it? Is it going all weekend? Join the Fluff World friends to stroll through Walker World and discover some exciting surprises along the way. The landscapes in Walker World look bad, boy. Foliage. That, and I keep saying it about the foliage in Walker World and Wilder World, but it's AAA, baby. It's AAA aesthetics across both games. Extremely interesting times. So they've been working on harvesting animations to collect resources in Walker World. So animating your character is collecting resources, potentially, that'll be. So when you click like animate that, mine that rock, it's going to give like a little cheeky little animation of your character mining the rock while it pings it off. You don't have to like hold your finger on a button and keep tapping it around. So that does actually sound decent. Tiny little bit of speculation in there, but it does sound like that's what they're building. Finishing up vertical slice of game design after months of design and economy discussions. Snowy Mountains looking absolutely stunning. That economy discussions is extremely interesting because that's going to incorporate how the resources collection and ooze play into the economy and being worth real world assets in the marketplace that people can then just go and flip through Ethereum or Root, depending where they've been bridged to. Fascinating to think about and speculate. They've got continuously great responses from their investor meetings, planning and strategizing. I hate that word. It's like similar. They've got the first land sale coming up first, so they're just strategizing how they're going to play that out. They've got a big partner on board. Looking to schedule a low AMA for April, which sounds great. They'll be inviting holders to put on their tinfoil hats and participate. That sounds fantastic. We should be getting, because they're great for low dips anyway, Walker World. So you can imagine if they're doing an AMA specifically for one, we're going to get some extreme alpha. They've also been strategizing what community activations they can do for the first Walker World land sale gaming activations. You've got to join the Walker World community and get on the action. So it's basically just a follow on from the previous things. So get on the action in Walker World. Congrats to the raffle winners, baby. Again, they just keep giving and giving and giving, don't they, Walker World? It's great team, great project. Buzzing, they're on board with FutureVerse. Again, the world looks amazing. They just keep giving to the community. Whether it's in the actual Walker Weekly giveaway, which is completely different from these raffles, I might add. So if you want to chase the raffles down, get to the Twitter and the Discord and have a ganders. Regards to the competitions, it's basically just, we won this week's baby. You know this. Congratulations to us on winning the giveaway. Now, I want to point out to people, because the numbers don't really add up at all, right? Especially if people have commented twice. So we've got another one here. They're giving away the Walkaway Bunny Ears and a lightsaber. It's a fantastic walker. She looks amazing, mate. The clothing's top. Even the little slippers, man. She looks bad boy. So you've got to make sure you like and retweet the top one. But then also tag the 3 friends you want in this one. So what I mean when the numbers don't add up, we've had 87 people retweet, but only 50 odd have commented. So there's literally 30 people that have retweeted that just need to come down here, drop a comment, and they've got the potential, drop a comment and tag 3 friends, and they've got the potential to win that. Now, last week, it was only out of like 13 people or something who'd retweeted it. So I was like one in 13 and a winner. So get on it. Could be you. Could be you. It could be you, baby. She looks fantastic. So yeah, it was great to win. NFT Bro won the other week. Good luck to whoever wins this week. As you can see, we've dropped the retweets, we've dropped the comment. Retweet the top one, like and retweet this top one. It's always the top video you like and retweet, and then you go back to the bottom one, place your comments and tag your boys, tag your girls, tag your fam, tag whoever, and jobs are good un. You're in with a shout. Now, moving on to Seekers, as we said, NFT Bro, he won as well the other week, but shout out to his little things. It's gonna be easier to read them from down here, being perfectly honest, but I just want to focus on the dashboard bit mainly. So they've said the dashboard is literally shit hot. The team want to release it, but they're waiting for developments under the Root Network side. This does give them a chance to look at the dashboard and add more gamified parts. Dashboard was initially to help set up nodes and stake and give a walkthrough. Now a cool experience as well for Seeker holders who aren't interested in staking and running a node. Can see that the network is producing, etc., and they're gamifying this, and the tech's hidden in the back end, and it's fun to be, it's fun to run a server. This is in going on the Root Network side there, with the Cortex being paused at the moment, with your mining, with ASM moving over, this happening at the same time. This is going to lead to my speculation in a minute when I start saying with rewards why you could be getting Asto, AE, Silo, could be even getting Wild Coin from Wilder World, but tiny little pieces of it, but still building a little pot within the wallets. There's a certain level of gamification. So it's not just going to be click and return graphics in a 2D environment. It's going to be more of a 3D feel and experience, but the reward space is 2D at the moment. So they won't get the fully immersive feel, but there's so many different layers of gamification. So I see this as the window into the FutureVerse, the first game, the first real game that anyone who wants to go in Discords and whatnot and say, oh, they just need to drop a game, we need a game, we need a game. I'm one of them that is eager to see games drop. This is it. This is the start of that. It really is for me. Let me get that other one up. Which one's that? Part swapping. Part swapping's got a bit to go, but for them it's clearly an exciting experience doing it all. They've shared some of the progress with the FutureVerse people and they're really excited about it. Swappables will be great. More ecosystem wide. Things that Seekers were working on internally are now being scoped up with the FutureVerse roll-up, swappables. What's hard about how do we create inventories on Seeker parts? What happens to the PFP video? So it's something to think about in it when you've got a Seeker and you're going to take his arm off and potentially give it to another Seeker and put a different part on that Seeker. what actually happens to all the GIFs and the graphics of that Seeker online and representing that NFT? Well, apparently they've solved the problems with the parts, but they need to be made browser ready. So again, scene swapping, same thing. It's been put in with a roll up, the dev work to be done, and I see this as the final hurdle now for getting it all together and it all moving forward in one direction. Like, if you go back just several weeks, all the Discords announcing their own stuff, and even back to like the New Year and Christmas, it was their own stuff, their own things, their own AMAs, and now it's more like just they're doing this, but it's every single one just points in the same direction now that they keep doing. So I see it as extremely exciting. And as I say, I compare it to Star Trek. So let's just have a ganders and show people exactly what I mean by this. Because a 3D experience and environment is exactly what we're walked into there now. Boom. So for Star Trek, when we first come into the environment, we're in the lobby. So imagine this in a Seeker dashboard. We're literally just, you could be sat at a desk. You could be, we don't know how they're going to set it up aesthetically. This is just general feel. They say is going to be 3D. Now this is fully 3D space. We can move about in it if we want, travel around, people in the lobby. We can go and speak to people, click a ship, see his details, does he want to join the fleet and blah blah blah, and guild it up and go and play with him. And we've got a whole galaxy that that we can explore. But we've also got tiny little missions. So this is a 2D experience I was expecting from the dashboard to begin with, and I'm happy with it. I really am, because let's go to R&D school first. So I've got some to collect results here. These are 24-hour skill missions for a school. So for a skill tree school. So if I click on beams, this is for me to build beam arrays and beam technology, beam consoles to go on the ship, dual beam banks, build materials that make the beams. So it's all like all these materials here we'll either get on missions or we can actually create them ourselves. So there's components, focusing lens. So if you see this one here now, if I click on that, I'm missing a focusing lens. So if I begin that, start task, just put him on it, critical 83%, start task, no option available. I've got no slots. Collect result, collect result, collect result. So they was 24 hours ago, back to beams. If I begin, start task, literally 5 seconds, we can go back to beams, and I've now got the material that I didn't have a minute ago. Well, I've got one of them. I need 5 to do it. So Seeker's being sent somewhere is not only going to bring stuff back for us, it's going to bring stuff back from all the different worlds of FutureVerse, and it's not necessarily just going to bring back materials like this. Like we're even being brought weapons back in this one. So for this one, we've sent duty officers on missions. Actually failed one there. A few of the details of the failed mission. We can see we've identified a low-ranking KDF officer who may be willing to feed blah 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 blah. When it's a world you don't care about, you don't give a shit. Understand. Somebody's literally. But imagine that's FutureVerse information about Megacity in Illyria. And what kind of materials are there? What kind of brains are left there to be mined? You know, think about the lore stuff that they can drop in, as well as the actual rewards that people can be winning. It's this rewards here. We've got heavy phaser satellite turret, some experience points. We've got some expertise. We've got some diplomacy experience because we went on a diplomacy mission and we completed it correctly. And we've got some dilithium ore. Now, regarding the experience, they could be anything, but the heavy phaser turret, that could be a Seeker arm. Seeker could be come back, like, I found an arm. Like, why not? Part swaps coming. It's interesting to, I just saw a few people shutting it up as like, oh, 2D thing. Even like Peckham suggested he was wishing it was more. But I'm telling you now, my school's here, level 11, level 5, level 5, level 6. If I mean, it goes without saying, but if the rewards in these other missions add real world value, i.e. the store. So let's take a little look at the store, because you know what's coming here, don't you? Paid items, mate. Buy Zen. We can go and buy Zen for £83. That's nice. So we can get some Zen ships and we can do this, that, and that. But you can't earn all this. Or if we go to the inventory and we go to our research and development, but we've got all these materials, not one of them can be made into anything that can be sold for Zen or anything of value to be pulled from the network. So when we get Web3 in the mix, all this stuff's going to build stuff of value. Bingies and Buzzies going to be building art and objects of value. People in the community just need to make sure they don't put massive flaws in their head on stuff that the Thingies and Buzzies build, because it's going to be stuff of low value at first. Like you can see, we've got exchange things here. So last time I came on it, I clearly put some items sold. Some guy ahead asking for 10 million energy credits. No chance, bled. Not even got that many. But it just shows the range. We've got duty officers, admiralty. We can send ships. So this will be one that's a lot like Seekers, where you have a certain engineering, tactics, science. I've got to meet a certain amount of numbers. So when we consider the Seekers, if we just pull up the picture of the digger, when we look at the digger pick here, so the digger, not afraid to get their hands dirty. The diggers are robust and rough and ready grunts that put their hard yards so that you don't have to. So they put in the hard yards, baby. I mean, this is fascinating. Its primary attribute, reactor. Secondary attribute, storage. Now we've got a digger with a drill and an excavator back, and it says drill at the top left, but there's also a digger in the back with an actual digger arm and an excavator. And then they released this picture as well from build, like obviously all, yeah, we're just seeing the drill, the medic. I've got a medic, mechanic potentially. There's a backpack claim coming in the dashboard very soon. But it just goes to show that there can be so much variety around these seekers. Like you could have a drill school where the more he goes out to drill, he comes back with experience in that drill, and you've just got to keep smashing it. And like Chris was saying, we've got some 20-minute ones and we've got some 24-hour ones. So if I want to do the school up, now indeed, the faster I get one of these schools to level 15, the better. You can make way more weapons, and you can start making these books, the tech upgrades. So not only do you make the sick weapons, you upgrade the weapons. So we'll look at upgrades in a minute, because all the building and construction and everything that's going to come from the Seeker missions is going to lead to you upgrading stuff in the future. Like I don't think for 1 minute the Goblin, if you get some Goblin armor, that's just it. It'll be a certain level of armor. You with me, Chris? You think of gaming, it's not just, you're not just going to have maybe a unique from the Queen gold amulet is going to be level 99 armor on his boss man legendary, straight off the bat. No upgrades required. But you can still imagine, like Star Trek's been around that long now. It went ham on the upgrades, to the point where if we go to a, probably have to get some off my ship. Even like the beams there, you're talking the beam there. You're not going to see it any bigger, but that's level X2 there. Got level 12. Got level 12 there. That's probably the biggest one. So we can right click the bad boy, upgrade item, and then we need one of them tech upgrades. So that basically means we come back to the missions and we literally go and find one of them tech upgrades. Now what is it? It's a beam. I just know because I'm looking at a beam. But like whatever you're looking to upgrade, you're gonna again come into beams. Where's them thingies gone? Want tech upgrade? I ain't even got enough to do that. Improve tech upgrade. I need to build these. But again, these are just items in here, details. Start that task. Yeah, 100%. And there's also things like this they can do. So this is an equipment requisition task force box, but there's different kinds of boxes, lot boxes. You get materials boxes. I've just not opened that one yet, so let's give that use it. It's give us an anti-Borg, anti-proton beam rifle. So again, in the Seeker world, that could just be an attachment. It could have been a light for the top of his head. It could have been an important attachment. Could have been an epically rare one. I mean, it's yellow, it's purple. So that's a very rare ground weapon. Just claim them from that box. And it's because I did a bad boy mission recently. But again, we go back to beams now. We've just built one of them. Didn't claim it, did we? Finished now, dilithium, don't care, spend it, collect result. Beams. There, we got the basic beam weapons tech upgrade, and look, boom. Look at that, mate. 2% of the level 12. It took 2%. So we have to gonna keep... We've already not even got enough for basic tech again. So we have to keep building these components, these focusing lenses. Got to keep smashing that to build the tech upgrade, to upgrade the tech, apply the upgrade, and the Seeker and your things get better over time. So these missions that they're releasing soon, basically, can have a lot more meaning than one simple reward. Like, look, these rewards got special items, experience points again, dilithium. It goes without saying, everyone within the FutureVerse community should be extremely excited about the missions dropping soon, I think. I think it's going to blow it right open. Chris, what would you like to see from the missions straight up? What do you feel like to make it feel like a game for almost everyone? These people mainly saying... Yeah, 100, 100. The only thing it really needs to add to that is to let me run in a different direction and go and mine myself. You know what I mean? Like that's what's going to happen the day that the actual full open world starts launching. It's going to be interesting to see what functions they deliver straight off the bat. Regarding the land people own and all this stuff, I don't think... because it's a toss up in it. Imagine it now. The Third Kingdom drops tomorrow. Are you doing campaign lore first, or are you checking out your plot of land and borough? So, thinking on that, do you think it's better if they introduce the boroughs first? Let's just regard Third Kingdom, not forget Walker World and the other worlds for now, even Gods and Goblins and how they're going to drop them. Do you think it'd just be better to have your borough release first? You can check your characters out in it. You can walk about it. You can maybe go outside a little bit, see your land that you own, look about, potentially start building a little bit, get a feel for it. Have Seekers actually appear then, you know, through message. If you click, like, if you get a message through your Seeker and you click open, it just literally appears in that little bit of the game, and that'll like blow the dashboard right open and mix it with the burrows, and then before you know it, they could potentially drop a campaign. Because it makes me think, like, what is actually coming first, and what would I do with my burrow and my land? Because I'm dying to build on land. Yeah, because the Snoop Dogg one's at the tree, innit? One, like, almost definitely, I can't remember where I read it. It's almost definitely with a balcony on the tree. I read it. I just can't remember where. Something else I've also read, which I want to pull up, just so we can talk about it as it being actually confirmed. Let's go to Fluff World General. Search the chat. Put this, capital T, quarter. Search. Alex. The message could not be loaded for whatever reason that's saying. But it was basically when's the root drop? Can you give us any timeline on root this quarter? Yeah, so bear in mind that in the last few days I've actually entered a new quarter, so it does mean till like the back end of June. Until it could be the back end of June, so no one getting too giddy thinking it was like it's rapid, but it is coming. It is on its way, baby. This quarter, you can finally say root drop this quarter. Now that still doesn't answer many questions of what root functions are going to be available. Exactly what I was leaning on to. The positive thing people can take around the migration of assets is understand they're doing it first, and they're doing it now, doing it right now with ASM, doing it, the Cortex and all that being moved, the silo are moving over, getting in with also. They're all doing their migration into one now, and as soon as they're done, it's on for the lot, in my opinion. For the next Legends drop, for the migration, for the silo dashboard missions, we should be getting some decent, not only alpha, but legitimate project milestones being hit and actual drops. Especially if you look at all the mission boards. Yeah. Yeah, Matt, waiting on Ripple. I would imagine they are for a lot of back-end functionality and regulatory clarity, legal issues and whatnot. But I don't know. As a gamer, I'm getting a little tired of the sentiment that you can't release a Web3 game without having all your NFTs and all your mechanisms and all your functions ready off the bat. I believe you can. I believe people could have released a Web 2 game and just implemented Web 3 over time if they truly wanted to. It's just that the assets you start with will forever be free and low value assets until they ever get minted, and then they somehow end up the Genesis that used to be free and now they're worth better. It's crazy how stuff, how it can play out like that. It'd be interesting to see how it plays out moving forward. Yeah, might have mattered to a few international partners, but I'm interested in the smart contract functionality on Root Network and how we'll mint the assets we create and how we can move forward building with them, as the slogan is. because the community is going to start building a hell of a lot as it drops. Like you say, the dashboard missions will just be a little taste of all the components, the resources and materials that the Seekers can start bringing back to us. But eventually, us either letting your buzzes and other mechanisms do it all for you, or doing a little bit yourself as well. People will be crafting and building themselves. It's going to be interesting to see what functions you can add to your own land, what level mechanics they make available. Because they go on like they go on saying that they're gonna make it ridiculously easier for you to create a game within the FutureVerse and build it out. Now it takes a while, but it's relatively not too hard to get used to making the landscapes. I've done it over the last 12 months or so, and can build a landscape out now and have a landscape ready to go, which is people running over it. It's why the foliage and that fascinates me, mate, because I've learned to do it over the last years. But adding level functionality, play music at this point, play animation at this point when you're adding resources. So when you're mining resources, that it's got to trigger the animation. You've got to trigger this at that point, and there's a hell of a lot to consider. How they implement that for just the average person who owns land is fascinating for me. And I think at the end of the day, it's going to have a lot to do with the brains. Because if we look online now and we see this text to image, text to video, text to generate, and there's text bots now generating whole 3D worlds just off a paragraph. It's absolutely fascinating. Can't wait to get access to brains to start doing that stuff. I've been using a bit of ChatGPT, as you know, Chris, and it's just blowing my mind how helpful it can be. Been having a laugh with what it's been writing. But yeah, getting hold of the brains like that, I think they're really, really going to help with it. When do you think we're going to even remotely see anything like that from ASM? Yeah, do you know when they did the AMA not long ago and Flaming Brain 1 basically jacked it? And they had like the voice and all that. Like, I thought at the time, if that's actually Brain 1, that's awesome. And let's go. Let's release him as a little test chatbot and or her. Don't know if Brain 1 identifies as, just male in my mind. Sorry if that offends females. But yeah, to release him as a chatbot for people to test and try out, just like all AI companies are now. I don't understand the reluctance to put it out there if it's ready. If it was just a recording of a voice pretending to be Brain 1, potentially a little cringe, but I'm not denying what their AI is capable of, or that it's ready. I just feel like they're taking the time while AI is right at the forefront at the moment. I mean, it is the buzz. There's hundreds of millions of people floating into it every given day, and it's not going to stop. I think the sooner ASM can capitalize on some of that hype, the better. I really do. I really, really do. On that note, we might as well wind it down. Can I not go thingy with me? Oh, no, I want that one. Star Trek. Star Trek's the kind of game that just don't care. Have me a little screen, I don't care. Have your cursor back, I don't care. This is what I want FutureVerse to be like. Or this is what they're going for, so I just want it browser based, like to be able to download it all browser based, but to have my sea commissions here and be in Third Kingdom and Walker World, and then to have another one open there where I'm in Wilder World, then to have another one on the other screen there, AI football or something, just popping off. If I was clicking these rewards now, and they was real world value like we were saying before, and I could turn them back into Zen, and then sell that Zen back to these for $83. Make no mistake, every school there would be level 15. I'd be way above level 65 Admiral. Like I'd have maxed it out, mate. Fleet Admiral. Like I know there's not you can't go higher than Fleet Admiral, it's just Fleet Admiral the number. It's actually not that high. It's only level 50 end game plus 15 levels. Just takes a while to go from one to the other. But yeah, I just want something like this. It's a doorway into FutureVerse. Starts off with the Seeker missions. It can be this is what they mean by 2D rewards. You'll just literally just come to it and be ping, ping, ping. You'll get the messages, sold stuff in the exchange. Could have swore deleted them before, but I mustn't have clicked delete. Exchange sale expired. Oh, I didn't sell one of my items. Items sold in exchange. I've sold right few. But like, I've stopped playing this as much. Like, I love this game, don't get me wrong, and the economy in it is absolutely massive. It's the biggest game economy I've ever contributed in. It's absolutely huge. You can see from the rewards and the R&D screen and that, the amount of materials and different weapons. If I get my ship up, like, they're all the consoles. We've got engineering consoles, science consoles, tactical consoles. I see it being no different with Seekers in the end. Now, all the Seekers for now, I've not seen a weapon on one of you, Chris. You've got the ray guns, but you've also got all the guns and blasters that the walkers are walking about with. I reckon they could have a future attachment, and they actually start getting tactical attachments in the future that are actually going to shoot at people and stuff. But for first, you'll have mining attachments, exploration, medical, building, mechanic. We know the backpacks have got specific, haven't they? But it's going to be no different than this, like, engineering consoles and stuff. And you see here, I've got a little bit of epic gear through upgrading. It don't just come. I've still got a shield down here at, like, rare. It's not even very rare or legendary yet, man. It's like, it takes a while. But again, if this was a Web3 game giving out real world value rewards, I'd spend way more hours on it. Like, literally, no joke. And I'd just be maxing every day. The minute these pop off, we'd be like, right, skills, make sure all the skills are up to grab where we're going. Because you can change it, retrain. So they're getting trained. They need to understand that what we used to do on our own, you're potentially still going to be able to do on your avatars. But the brains and the seekers and stuff like that are being trained in gyms, all this stuff's going to start being handled by them. So, like, Elsa Flores here, where I control what she does and I control what she gets upgraded in, and I pick, right, I want an upgrade in beams because she uses beams, or the photon blast, right, torpedo spread 1, let's upgrade it to torpedo 2, torpedo I yield 2, or we've got to upgrade that, we need some resources, boom, boom. And it's being no different than that in the way they do it. I really, really hope. And they'll grab me for hours on end, mate, all weekend, stuff like that. They just will. And these screens, I want people to bear in mind, I can spend hours on these screens, me, looking at, so we can literally, there's just too much to even go in. But upgrades available for gear. You've got Nokara gear, new Romulan gear, dice, because every race obviously builds different gear and weapons of different kinds. We've got stations that we can go to and give people, specific person a mission, give a ship a mission, look at the traits. We can stay in them screens for hours before we even go to mission screen and actually pick an event to go and play in. But then we'll have all the PvP events, the PvE events, the episodes and the lore. This is all what I expect to come from FutureVerse. I hope it all does, and like I say, they'll have me like that, mate, for hours. As much, like, yeah. It can't be too long. You understand it can still be up to 12 months. But regarding Walker World and stuff, I feel like they're getting ridiculously close. I think Wilder World's getting ridiculously close. And I think it's time for people to start getting excited, mate. Really do. I think they'll know what I mean when the dashboard actually drops. Hopefully they go with the Nexus. When the Nexus drops. A few people in the community selected Nexus. It just makes sense for the dashboard to be called the Nexus, man. Makes pure sense. But yeah, on that note, we might as well wind it down, mate. I mean, yeah, I mean, I could sit and I honestly could sit and speculate about the. I mean, a close Star Trek now. I could sit and speculate about the missions all night, mate. I really, really could. Um, see what Matt's saying. Sorry if I ignore the comments, Matt. I just get fixated in delivering and chatting, waffling. Apologies. Yeah, the Spore one makes sense. I've not for Matt there, I've not heard of Elite Dangerous. I don't think I have. You can play it in VR. Craig, appreciate you being here, mate. Love you. Mwah. Love FutureVerse. We can't wait for this to start growing. Like we always say, this will eventually evolve into hopefully me and Chris sat in our burrows, doing that from the burrows, and then doing that from in the game. Maybe soon we'll be doing some dashboard missions and like that. Like I say, Star Trek, and I don't really play it that much as it is at the moment because it's just not Web 3 and it's not interesting me. But like I say, that's a Web 2 game now already ready. They start releasing NFTs and you might struggle to get me off it. Real talk. This ain't no Grand Theft Auto where there's going to be a GTA 6 soon and you'll lose your yacht on that. I'll never let that. Star Trek's just online, carries on. It's like Eve and Warcraft and stuff. So like that ship you was watching me fly about in, it cost me 30 quid. Lean on me when you're not strong. So what I'm fascinated about land mechanics, right? Like, because this is going to end up 10 or 15 minutes on its own here, man. But I'm proper like land mechanics, me. Right. So just mention GTA. We all know everyone who plays GTA Online owns an apartment within the main city. We all use a garage within the main city. Like in Wilder World, someone going to own the garage in Wyoming or multiple garages in Wyoming. Can we buy an apartment in Wyoming as well as owning land just outside of it? You know, when you think about the metaverse real estate and the actual land mechanics, land to most people, you think Earth, a patch of Earth land in the world. But land mechanics could also go into just general spaces and own an apartment here, garage there. For instance, if you had a gym, if you ran a business with a Gen 1 brain and you was minting load of Gen 2 brains and you wanted to set up a garage that had a racetrack right next to it, legitimately, and people took the Atom cars and stuff like that, and you trained driving brains to race Atom style races inside Walker World or the Third Kingdom or wherever, that them kind of mechanics is what starts getting my juices flowing, mate. Bro, yeah, and I'm going one more. How many people are going to have the facilities to turn their garage into a gym for brains? Like our Atom cars that we're gonna get cars, aren't we? That we assume are either coming with a brain or we put a brain in it, and they're gonna race races for us, and we're the team manager, team owner. them cars will have gyms to go to and people will own the gym. Now, if you've got a GPU running on a server that's doing a gym in Atom, and every brain that goes to that gym leaves it knowing how to go around a track, that means you can buy land in Walker World. All you have to do is build a track and then have a copy of that gym there running on the same server, just on a different CPU and GPU, different threads, different cores, but it's a same gym in a different place. And you've got Atom races happening inside Walker World. This is the kind of stuff I want to do with Core World. Merging our world within the other world. So at times you're going to be like, which one we actually in here? We ain't an over Core World, but we in Wilder World or what? Let's go to the Third Kingdom. Like, I want that kind of immersive to kind of lose your place. It's all that interoperable. The lore source of truth. Sounds interesting. Think between the tree and the portal with the goblins, the buzzes and the bears and the zombies and the wasteland and the irradiated thing. There's a lot of catastrophe in the past within the Third Kingdom. So think a little bit of truth of where it all came from, even to the Dark Seeker and stuff, and what's truly gone on in the past, and what's actually have to be completed in whatever campaign lore they're going to produce in the world. Like what we're fighting. Beyond the Dark Seeker's the only real villain we've seen, innit? Who else are we fighting against? Are we though? Because we own them. I keep thinking this, bro. What's happening if I walk into Third Kingdom dressed as a goblin and one of my Seekers is there and I'm like, you alright, bro? You appreciate what your bro did and burn him. Yeah, no hard feelings, mate. Yeah. It's going to be weird, innit? Yo, Seeker, do me a favour, go Goblin Town and get some metal off the merchant. Seeker's like, I ain't going there, bro. Go fuck yourself. Go yourself. They'll burn me. Interesting. Yeah, so yeah, it's to me. There's a lot of economics and mathematics involved. Like I tried to say a week ago, or like a couple of weeks ago, didn't I? From the point in game dev, and especially in Web3 now, the reason Star Trek tends to shy away from selling their stuff back to them for 80 quid is one, they want profit, and two, it's having to always have that liquidity pots in it, the liquidity pools. We know this doesn't exist hardly, like it's scarce. That kind of liquidity is scarce in Web3 systems and centralized systems. Web3 is changing that. Now this Spawn Mint with the different resources and Walker Weekly spoke about all the chats about economy and that. It's going to be fascinating to see it play out. So yeah, spores. Do you know what? Chicken egg in it. Fuck's sake. Chicken egg. Yeah, well, the spores got a bit of base. They've got a bit of base currency resource, the spores. So they go into they basically go into the syringe and growing medium, don't they? Straight away. And you get the it's mint, as in they're gonna mint it. MVP. You got to mint spores. Yeah, right. Once all the assets have had a root drop, in my head, that's it. Innit? The assets don't get no more root drop after that. The only way to then earn root would be in the game through mechanics like this. You're not wrong. Now, yeah, potentially the more, I mean, you could be amulet holders. The more root you've got, certain kind of clothing or a background on a certain thing could get more spores than the next person. Spores could be the third. I mean, it's just how much will they cross over now? Match just that's there. I think there'll be factions in the Third Kingdom, a little bit like WoW and the Horde and the Alliance. Not only will there be factions in the Third Kingdom, I think the factions will start mainly in the Goblins. The Goblins are mainly going to have factions, and I think they'll not just have factions. They'll have guilds in World Guilds. Like there'll be the Goblins Thief Guild, there'll be the Goblins Crafting Guild, there'll be this guild. That's potentially where you'll have all the different gyms for skills. Yeah, you could have some big dick swinging whales acting like the Iron Bank. Literally ballers. Ballers walking around in a gold amulet gear with 20 goblins behind him all wearing gold amulet gear, ready to fuck you up. One look at me wrong, mate, and these goblins will gonna do ya. Got wall hack bow and arrows, mate. Yeah. I swear to God, that's all I want. My goblins are just going to be my bodyguards, mate, and I'm going to make them as ruthless as they can possibly get. Like, legitimately, I'm not joking. All these cod sweats think that they're good. Come to my land, mate. We'll see how good you are. Won't get 10 meters in, bruh. Gonna need a team of you and your AI to get in one of my maps. You don't work with AI in my map, you ain't getting in, bruh. Not without AI. No, I don't think so without AI, mate. Depending on what limit they let you put on the AI. We all know there's wall hacks. We all know that as a game dev, you can say to an AI bot that's walking around a thing, you can tell him where he's allowed to walk. You can tell him how far away he's allowed to hear. You can tell him how far away he's allowed to see things. You can tell him if he can shoot through walls or not. Now, I'm not being funny, but let's take Wilder World, for instance. A rabbit in Fluff World can't see through walls. A cyborg who's got eyes that go from infrared to microwave to thermal to X-ray, he can see through the wall. It's logical. Do you know what I mean? So again, if we put a little bit of logic to characters, if I'm packing like 10 cyborg bodyguards, they if I can put wall hack on them, they're getting it. It's as simple as that, because half of these cod sweats put wall hack on anyway. So fill your boots, mate. Put all the hacks you want on. Come at my brains. We'll see what happens. And put decent rewards up in the middle. Do you know what I mean? And just let everyone go at it. But I guarantee you're going to be able to I guarantee is a strong word. I would hope that you're able to train an AI that takes any human on the planet out with ease in the end, whether it's against one big boss or a horde of 100 goblins. You know, like zombies. Remember COD Zombies? There came a level where I don't care who you are, you aren't finishing it. I just don't care who you are, you was not finishing that level. You got flooded by thousands of them. And you would have needed similar AI that can think as fast as them bots to beat them bots. You can't have hundreds of bots in a house all coming for you and expect to survive it without a few of your own boys that can think as fast as the enemy. I think that's fascinating, and it blows PvP out the water. It just does. That new kind of PvE that's going to come about, where you're with your AI boy and you've got your seeker outside doing surveillance and recon. Mate, live chat back to you through the silo happen stuff. Keith. Called Keith, innit? Keith chopping bases down his shit. So if anyone's watching who don't know what we're going on about, that game, the guy, get him up on Google, because that Keith knocking the hut down, I guarantee he comes up. I don't even know how to spell Keith. It's E first, innit? I before E. School ruined me with that. Keith, Sons of the Forest. There we go. Oh my days, It was joking to see some videos of him knocking stuff down. First impressions and fun times with Keith. Keith don't want your volume. Oh, it's funny, mate. It looks an half decent game though, and again, the foliage there, that's AAA, bruh. Right, so that's another thing I want in Core World. So as we start building Core World out, I want the aliens that are native to Core World that didn't like get mutated in the event. I want them to have factions like Matt's talking about now, and you have the choice to fight them or attempt to join up with them. But there'll be a mission that leads to a certain set of gear that they create, like their best piece of equipment, the best weapons and equipment, the armor, all that gear that they create. You need to work with them if you want to get access to it. Do you know what I mean? You can't be being one of them dunce players like in GTA where you'd get the dunce at. Can't be a twat, basically. This is funny, this, when you think like, so imagine he's got an ASM brain now and we're playing with him and he knocks the house down. It's like, Jesus, Keith. How much access do you think we're going to get to the behaviour trees to tweak behaviours like that? Because that's the other side of ASM. Not only am I super excited to just get access to the chatbot, because I don't want to use ChatGPT. I'm using it almost every day. Just not only for a buzz, but for actual work. And it's fascinating. And it breaks my heart that I've got 3 brains there that could be their own versions of ChatGPT, potentially. And I can't use them yet. Breaks my heart. So basically, guys, people on this game make these trees, these tree houses. And Keith helps you build it. And then knocks it down when you say finish it. I've seen so many videos where they just walk up to Keith to like, go and finish the hut. And he just walks over to it. Whacks it down, mate. Chops the tree down. He's literally going to chop the tree down. It's funny, man. But yeah. So what's this called? Sons of the Forest. Looks right up my street, man. I'm just reluctant to play nothing that's not embracing Web3 lately. If it's not embracing Web3, which what I basically mean is that Zen store stuff we was looking at, sucking money out of their own communities, but giving nothing but entertainment. I'm done. I'm done with that. In the 80s and 90s, that was enough on it. It was enough. In the previous 20 years, we've seen these companies become huge data and revenue sucking corporations that have earned absolute weng, and they ain't passed none of that onto the community except for just entertaining you, bruh. Just play the game, bruh. Just play the game. Like, no, go fuck yourself now. Web3 it or fuck off. Because we're done. That's why FutureVerse will blow up. Play it the right way. I think Fortnite's a massive part of that, you know. Walker World are planning a Fortnite map. I imagine they all are in the end. But Walker World have actually mentioned it in their announcements, I think. Where's the Community Weekly thing? Because I'm closing the stream in a minute, but what I find there. Have you seen the community things they drop? It's a community calendar. Well, if you find the latest one, guys, if you find the latest Walker World community calendar, I can't remember where it was shared, man. Doing me head in now. But it says on it a certain date towards the back end of this month about Fortnite event. And I think they're getting ready, I'm pretty sure they're getting ready to release a Fortnite level through the Fortnite editor. Give the Fortnite community a little taste of Walker World. And I think that's fantastic, and definitely something all the projects should be looking at doing to funnel them Web3 players, that funnel them Web2 players into Web3. You need to show them what you're building, get them interested, where them rabbits from, where them avatars from, where them vehicles from, what's that game. Because I often shy away from NFTs at the moment, and it's a shame, because if they saw the true value, they'd be sprinting towards it. They really would. On that note, we're going to call it a day. Enjoyed. It has been a pleasure, guys. Thanks for watching. We will see you next week. Hopefully some big news has dropped. If not, just a bit more speculation. As always, no doubt we'll have the Walker Weekly, and they always give us a nice little drizzle of info. So we shall see you next week. Keep hodling and peace. Follow CryptoPunk and love for crypto. You know the script. See you next week.